Hello, class. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Justin Serrano, and we're here talking about cognitive dissonance. I have two examples I'll share. The first is when I sat on a nonprofit board for gang intervention, youth development, and reintegration. A lot of my energy and time was to help individuals make the change in their life so that they can pivot and not fall back into their old ways. But there was a time when we worked a lot on fundraising, which was all year round. But this particular time, it was a lot because we were looking at throwing our 10-year anniversary and hosting a gala. So a lot of our efforts was in like campaigning for that, big business contribution, small business, local community partners, and all that kind of stuff. And really, my thoughts were I want to be in the field and helping directly, but then to help reduce my cognitive dissonance, I really thought about it, and my role, my functional role, was very, particular and special to make sure that all that unfolded. With the money that we, got through funding, we were able to pay our case managers, our employees, our staff, and buy, material that they can use to help make these changes or gain skills, paying for certification professionals to help teach these individuals new skills to get jobs and build resumes and all that kind of stuff, and that really helped reduce my cognitive dissonance. Another example I have is in the field of ABA, applied behavior analysis. A lot of our programming is novel to some of our participants, and that could be uncomfortable or even stressful. And a lot of our programming is through repetition, and that's a lot of stress throughout a lot of time. And my whole role in that field is to help individuals, gain skills or manage their behavior. And I'm trying to be a support and a help to them. So I feel like I'm supposed to help them, but yet I'm putting them under a lot of stress. So to reduce that cognitive dissonance, I got to look at the long haul or the future of the program. After a client gains the skills, they're thrilled and happy and feel more independence, have a lot more pride, and a lot of dignity is being shown. And that's what helps me really reduce that kind of cognitive dissonance. So, under what conditions will people, change behavior? Um, a little applied behavior analysis right here is if you look at the antecedents and then you look at the consequence of a behavior, so that's the before and after, you can start identifying some of the attributes that are going into what behavior is being done. And when you identify that, you can look at the four functions of behavior, whether it's a sensory, whether it's attention seeking, whether it's escape, or whether it's like tangibility. And if you can identify those, you can help manage and modify some things. But a lot of times it's under stress or confidence that people can make change. Now, looking at a moment of when somebody made a mistake and they took responsibility for the error and then how I responded to it. There's a time when I was working on an experimental research paper. So we conducted the experiment, we did our analysis, and all that stuff. And I put a lot of work into it, and my partner was unavailable to do some of the work. So I had asked if he can turn it in so he can feel as though, he had a big responsibility to be a part of the team and to do that kind of submission. I think would give somebody sort of like buy-in or like, like I turned that in kind of thing. And the individual left it unsent. It was very frustrating at the time, but he let me know that he didn't send it on time. So then together we wrote an email, and we explained like his situation and why he wasn't able to send it that time. Unfortunately, we did get marked down, but we still got a good enough grades to pass that assignment. And I did talk to him, and I asked him what was going on, like what happened. And then there was personal matters, but so I didn't like get too upset with him as an individual, but just a little sad that I got my grade marked down, and I was working really hard on that. And then, what strategies do you have for humble, accepting responsibility for my errors? I know life's a process, and there's a lot of work that can be done. And then you gotta integrity. You gotta like own it. Don't be ashamed that you made a mistake. Um, when I work with my clients, I use these three like little antidotes, or like not even antidotes, like little like play on words kind of thing. The first one is, if you fail, you try again. If you fall down, you get back up. And if you hit a wall, you just find a different way. You can go back and find a different way, but you'll continue to hit a wall if you go forward in that way. And those are the three things that I use. As far as biblically, this is what I've found. So James 5:16, therefore confess your sins to each other and pray for each other, so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. So this is again just owning up and praying for one another, being a support. And then here's Proverbs 28:13. Whoever conceals their sins does not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy. So again, even if you fail, even if you mess up, there are there are ways to like just overcome it, to keep moving forward. But anyways, my name is Justin Serrano. I hope everybody's doing wonderfully, and I look forward to your guys' responses and for your discussion posts.